Okay, guys. Good evening. It is 10:40 on p.m. Saturday night, August 6th, New York time, and just want to make a quick video. I made two regarding the non-farm payroll and Canadian news that happened this past Friday. Posted them on YouTube, and then I went in to try to modify them because of the update I wanted to put on them, and I kind of screwed them up and I chopped them up. So rather than trying to fix them, I just deleted them because they needed to be updated anyway. So I had a couple people ask me where they went, and that's why. So so I thought I would just make this one, and I'll try to keep this brief here. So we had non-farm payroll, and it went a little differently than what I was looking at about 10 hours before the news came out on Thursday evening, prior to the news coming out on Friday morning. And so just look at a couple of these pairs. So here's euro dollar, and this is the 1 hour chart. So this red line here is about when I recorded the video on Thursday evening. And what I was saying at that time is I expected this to, kind of correct and then come down, and then we'd get a move to the upside. Well, and so this proves, guys, what I always say is that to do your own analysis, and also when I always tell you that I may look at stuff out, a half a day or a day before it happens, but I'm always going to make the final determination just before the news comes out, like, an hour or so before the news comes out, just to confirm what I was looking at. And I will be willing to make adjustments based on what I see at that time. And this definitely needed to be adjusted, because instead of having this come down and then go move up, we actually stopped right about there, and we moved and we kind of drifted higher in this clearly corrective pattern, this small tight range here, and we went up, and then when the news came out, the euro went straight down. And this wasn't a massive move, it's about 100 pips over the course of a couple of hours, and then it turned around and started correcting. Now, I do think that this correction will possibly be a place to re-enter. If we go out to a longer time frame, it is possible then that this move is, perhaps this was a 1 or an A, and then this was a short 2 or B, and now we're going to go down for 3 or C. And so that's currently right now is probably either in the C or the 3. And so this move now is correcting back to the upside, and I have this correction to this downtrend label as an ABC. And if you notice the CCI, when the news came out, it compressed, went straight down. So this obviously is very impulsive. And now we're going up, spread apart, and this is a classic corrective formation on this multi-period CCI. So I would expect that this will continue to move higher in this corrective fashion, and then at some point this correction will end, probably somewhere around a Fibonacci retracement, and then something will trigger it and it will move back down. So CCI spread apart going up is a correction to a downtrend. Okay, so I actually did get into this, didn't get the best fill I wanted, but I still got a decent number of pips, and I did get out when it got back to about this retracement. I got out. It's like, I knew there was going to be a correction. I didn't want to stay in it like that over the weekend. So anyways, U.S. Swiss is kind of the exact opposite, of course. So here we are back on the 1 hour chart. And so I just put this ABC on here now a little while ago. And so again, this vertical line is about where the news came out. And what I was expecting to see is this to move up, and then the news come out and we'd see it go down. But what happened was it just continued to move sideways and actually drifted down a little bit right before the news came out. So I changed my mind and said this is going to go up. And so I do think this looks like an ABC. I mean, if this is an A, you don't see a wave 2 like this. Usually when you get this long drawn out sideways corrective action, that's usually a corrective B wave, and so that's why I have this label as an ABC. And if it is, so the A wave is about 110 pips, and this C wave right now is about reached about 100. So it is possible that this is wave 4 of C, and that we'll see this move up, may come up, make a new high, and then that will end it. So my initial gut right now is, again, much like the euro dollar, that this is either a 3 or a C. And because of this shape, I'm thinking it's a C. And there's really no wave 2 in the C wave. I mean, I guess you could say maybe this was 1, 2, but when you get an impulsive move like that, the wave 2 really gets buried. I mean, if we go down to a really low time frame, we might be able to find it. But it's really, it's not obvious. So let's go back here. So I do think that this is an ABC of this. So AB will come down here, and then this will go up and probably make a new high, and then we'll end it and then turn down longer term, I believe. So the US Swiss has been trending down here. You can see the daily chart. We've continued to make lower highs here and lower lows, and so I do think that that will continue once this kind of corrective move is over. Here it is on the weekly chart. Higher, lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so again, that's what I'm looking at. This will be an ABC of this move, but this overall is an ABC correction to this downtrend over here. Okay, so you got a small ABC to this move, and you've got a larger ABC to this down move. Okay, so again, this will move back up, and could look to re-enter it possibly if you want a short-term position, and then it will go back down. And again, you see the CCI, the exact opposite of what we saw in euro dollar, going down, spread apart, after going up compressed and straight up. Now we're going down, spread apart, and this may continue down for a while, but it will remain spread apart, and then it will compress and go up again for wave 5, or to end the wave C. Okay, so that's about it. The Canadian pairs looked pretty much exactly the same. The Canadian news ended up being negative, so the US Canadian had a really strong move up. That's this, because the dollar news ended up being positive, and the Canadian news was negative. So this actually setting up for a perfect trend. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll come down for 4 and complete a wave 5. So I do believe this will go up again, and then that'll be it. So I'm not going to be looking to enter this long. This is going to be over soon. You can see the CCI right here, again, going up straight, compressed straight up, going down now, spread apart. And so this will go back up again after correcting. So, and this one looks, you can really kind of see the trend here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we probably will maybe just barely make a new high, if not even come up and just make even with this high, and then we turn around and go back down. So that's what I'm thinking on the US Canadian. So I will not be looking for a long entry on this. I will be looking for potentially a short at the end of this trend, possibly. So alright, so again, guys, it gets back to what I tell you about doing your analysis on your own, not only hours and hours and hours before the news comes out, but just before it comes out for confirmation. Okay, I actually did not take this trade. I just missed it. I wasn't planning on trading this pair. It's too bad. It was a nice move, but I did take the euro dollar short and the US Swiss long, so I was happy with that. So just going into next week, just really brief. I'm not going to really look at any charts, but it's not going to be as heavy a news week in terms of patterns. You have Chinese trade balance Sunday night, which could affect the Asian currencies. There's some orange level news on Monday. I don't really suspect these are going to do much. This Aussie business conference confidence could, though, so I may be looking at this on Monday night, because the Aussie is set up for to end corrections and trends, and there really isn't any. If it doesn't happen here, it probably will happen on Tuesday. So, but I'll be watching it Monday night. Tuesday morning we have British pound manufacturing production. So in wake of the numbers we saw with the rate cut last week, this will be an important number that could either continue the downtrends or end those downtrends. So I'll be looking at the pound pairs on Monday night in anticipation of this news on Tuesday. And then, like I said, if for the Aussie, if this doesn't do it, you have Governor Stevens speaking on Tuesday night, New York time. So this could be big, depending what he says in light of the action last week. I am expecting the Aussie at some point to turn around and go down. So this could be the catalyst. So something to look at. And then really the big news for the week is going to come on Wednesday, and that is the Kiwi official cash rate statement, monetary policy statement, and press conference, all happening around 5 p.m. New York time on Wednesday. And so I'll make a video on that coming up at that time. And it's way too early. We're still a few days away from this news, so I'm not really going to be looking at that right now. Just way too early to say what's going to happen over the next few days. But that is the biggest news for the week. And this will always, and the reason why this will be especially big is because they are expecting to cut rates by a quarter point from 2.25 to 2. And so if they do, that's going to be negative for the Kiwi, at least in the short term. But we'll have to see what the patterns are, because the news is again, I always tell people I'm not a news trader. I'm an Elliott Wave and a pattern trader, but the news is just used as the catalyst. But I don't just have the news come out and I jump into a trade. Okay, if the patterns don't suggest that there is a trade, or if they suggest something different other than what the projection is on the news, then I will trade accordingly or not trade at all. So it doesn't mean just because there's big news coming out you're going to jump into a trade, and just because they're expecting to cut rates doesn't mean you just jump into a short before the news comes out. You got to look at the patterns and make a determination on what they look like at that time, and then see if it's worth getting in. So very important distinction. Let's see, moving on just for news. This unemployment claims is really not going to do anything. This comes out pretty much every week, and they still keep it as red, but I don't foresee this going to do anything for the dollar. Retail sales, this will be the next evening for the Kiwi, and in light of what happens here, this may be a driver to continue a trend or to potentially end something. So, but retail sales can be big for the Kiwi. Remember, it's a small country, much like Australia. It's a small country. New Zealand's even smaller, so these type of numbers can be very important. And then early on Friday, you have German GDP for the euro, and then you've got some fairly important U.S. news, especially the PPI. Although this tends to have very varying amounts of effect on the market, but it'll be worth looking. Of these, retail sales, core retail sales, and PPI, the PPI is for sure the most important of those measures. They do say that the Fed, a lot of experts say the Fed look at this PPI number for forward-looking in terms of future interest rate decisions. So, this will be something to look at on Friday. So those are the main things. Some Aussie news on Monday and Tuesday. The Kiwis, the big news on Wednesday. Some pound news also on Tuesday morning, and then retail sales for the Kiwi on Thursday, and Friday PPI dollar news. So the spotlight currency of this week is the Kiwi, but there are some potential other ones to look at too. So hopefully I'll try to make a couple of videos this week. I'll be traveling a little bit, but I'll see what I can do, and hopefully it'll help. But again, as I always say, do your homework and check it out. Make the determination, not 12 hours or 24 hours before the news comes out. Be vigilant in looking at the charts and the patterns leading up to the news, because things can change, as we saw last week. So, alright, so that's it, guys. Hope you have a good rest of the weekend. If you have any questions, let me know. Like the video, share it, what have you, and hopefully we'll all talk to you all soon.